I lost 90 pounds in 2 years. I went from 265 to 175. And I'm going to talk about exactly what I did to get there. You can lose weight too using these simple principles that really apply to everyone. Because the truth is, people way overcomplicate weight loss. It's actually so simple. It really comes down to calories in, calories out. This acronym CICO is going to be the guiding force of any weight loss journey, regardless of what anyone says. It comes down to the laws of thermodynamics, which are ingrained in this acronym. Because essentially, there are two ways to lose weight. One is to lower the amount of calories that you're ingesting. The other way is to increase the amount of activity that you're expending, because this is calories in, calories out. And you can actually do either or both. So for example, let's say you want to lose weight and you don't want to exercise at all. It's actually possible to do that. All you have to do is lower your calorie intake. On the flip side, let's say you really want to exercise a lot, or rather, let me put it this way. Let's say you don't want to change your diet at all. Like you want to keep eating exactly what you're eating. You can still lose weight as long as you increase your activity. If you want to maximize your weight loss, you want to do both. Lower your calorie intake and then increase your activity expenditure, okay? So it's actually just so simple, and if you stopped watching this video right here, you would be good. Also, thanks for your patience. I'm gonna be sweating in this video because I just went for a run, but it's all good. So really, if you wanna learn a little bit more of the details though, we can get into it. So to lower your calorie intake, there's a few things that you wanna keep in mind. One is that foods are not made equal in terms of something called their calorie density. Some foods are really calorie dense and they are gonna give you a ton of calories for not that much mass of food, whereas others are not as much. So what do we mean by that? 1 gram of pure fat, in terms of edible fat like butter, is gonna have 9 calories, whereas 1 gram of pure carbohydrate or pure protein is gonna have 4 calories. So 1 kilogram of fat is gonna have 9,000 calories, and 1 kilogram of pure protein or pure carbohydrates is gonna have 4,000 calories. So just off the bat, the same mass of food can have very different amount of calories because of the calorie density. So you want to try to find foods that have less dense calories per mass than others. And I know that's a lot of words, but basically think of it like things that are going to be less fatty and more carb rich, more proteinous. That can be really good in terms of being able to eat the same amount. Because for me, I went from being a really big eater to still maintaining being a big eater, but just eating less calorie dense foods. I actually lost 40 pounds in the first 2 months of my weight loss journey because I actually had been eating so much food. It was about 4,000 calories a day. So I went on a calorie deficit of eating only 2,000 calories a day. But what's cool is like that still was enough to lose weight, because once you go from 4,000 calories to 2,000 calories a day, you're in a 2,000 calorie deficit every day. And fundamentally, 1 pound of fat equals 3,600 calories. So if you want to lose 1 pound of fat, you just need to be in a calorie deficit of 3,600 calories over a given time period. So for me, I was in a deficit of 2,000 a day. So in just 2 days, I would lose a little bit over 1 pound of fat, because we can just do the math. 2,000 calorie deficit per day times 2 days is 4,000 calories. 4,000 is greater than 3,600, and you only need to be in a deficit of 3,600 to lose 1 pound of fat. So in 2 days, I would be losing 1 pound of fat. And that's exactly how I lost 40 pounds in about 2 months. That first 2 months was the most accelerated time of weight loss for me. Going from 4,000 to 2,000 calories was tough because I love food. I have always loved food, and I would eat just enormous quantities of food. So I still wanted to feel like I wasn't starving myself and could feel like I could eat some quantity of food, right? And 2,000 calories is actually not starvation level at all. Like 2,000 calories is still actually a lot of food. For context, 2,000 calories equals 5 McDonald's McChickens or about 3 pounds of lean chicken breast. So there's a lot of quantity of food you can have with 2,000 calories a day. Still though, 4,000 calories is what I was used to. I would eat a whole Little Caesars pizza for dinner, which is about 3,000 calories. So that just goes to show, I mean, it could even be more than 4,000 calories a day. So getting down to 2,000 was definitely helpful. And some foods that I ate a lot during this time were things like lean chicken breast. I found this really good snack. It's called Orville Redenbacher Smart Pop Popcorn. It's 200 calories per big bag. So you can really eat even 2 big bags, and I would be pretty full after 2. And that is low calorie foods where you can still feel like you're eating a lot. And I ate so many vegetables. I mean, you literally can eat unlimited vegetables. Like, as long as they're raw vegetables, you can eat literally unlimited. Like, don't even worry about it. And even if you cook them, obviously you can still eat an obscene amount of vegetables. The only reason I made that distinction is because sometimes people add a lot of butter to their vegetables or a ton of oil, and oil and butter are just fat. So I'm not saying, cut those out. I'm just saying, like, be aware that that adds a lot more calories. Whereas celery, the net calories end up being like 5 or like almost 0, because you almost expend more calories crunching than the amount of calories in them. So I ate an obscene amount of vegetables, and then I found a meal replacement shake called Huel, not sponsored, no affiliate links, but that ended up being really good, and I've been drinking them ever since that time because each drink is 400 calories. It's very filling. I mean, that's been my breakfast every day for 5 years now, and it just works really good, and it helped a lot for weight loss because whereas I would usually have about a 1,400 calorie breakfast with a ton of eggs, ton of sausage, ton of bread, going to 400 calories and still feeling full was a huge game changer. So incorporating things that are going to be working for you as you're trying to eat less helps a lot. And then notice how I didn't say you need to increase your exercise. I just said increase your activity, because calories out, calories expended is all about the activity that you expend. It's not just exercise. Exercise is the best bang for your buck in terms of the activity that you can do and the calories you can expend per unit time. So if you go for a run, you're gonna expend way more calories than you will going for a walk. So for example, a 45-minute walk is gonna be about 100, 150 calories burned, and that's still great, right? A 45-minute run can be upwards of 700 or 1,000 depending on your pace. So it really is a different comparison, but they're both good, right? And there's this whole category of activity called non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's a fancy way of saying anytime you get up and move, you're going to be burning calories. So for example, getting up from the couch and doing laundry, doing dishes, making your bed, that's all activity. That's part of NEAT, right? So if you just go up the stairs versus the elevator, all these things add up, and you can definitely burn calories just through activity. So decreasing your calorie intake is one way to lose weight. Increasing your activity is the other way. And for me, I combined both over a 2-year period to lose 90 pounds. I started off simple with the exercise. I started off with anywhere from 20-minute walk to 45-minute walk. And like I said, it does not burn a ton of calories. 45-minute walk burns about 100, 150 calories, but that's still good. And I was grateful that it got me in the process of exercising again. So that was huge, right? That was like astronomically huge for me because I just needed to get moving again, whereas I would just be sitting all the time and laying down all the time. So just that movement was super good. That process, that repetition, that consistency was good. And then eventually I just started exercising a lot more. And I mean, only a few months ago, I was part of a 200-mile relay race where 10 of us, we ran that whole amount. So my part in that, I ran 22 miles as part of that whole 200-mile relay race, right? So going from being obese to being able to run 22 miles as part of a large relay race, so cool. And you can absolutely do it too, 100%. during my journey, it's not like I did everything perfect, okay? So I would have bad days like a normal human, and I would have a day where I go back to the bad habit of getting a whole Little Caesars pizza with a bunch of ranch for dinner. And it felt really good in the moment. And then I would go to bed feeling awful and wake up feeling awful. But what's cool is even after that failure of eating like, 3,000 calories of pizza and ranch for a night, and it's not like I would wake up and I would immediately go back to being 265, right? Like, let's say at this point I'm 220 pounds. I've lost 45 pounds, right? It's not like I go from 220 and then 265 because I ate that whole pizza. I maybe go from 220 to 225 because a whole pizza in my belly just has a lot of mass, right? But I gained 5 pounds just in terms of an artifact of having so much mass in my belly, and I will gain fat from being in a calorie surplus, okay? But it's not like I'm gonna gain 45 pounds back for one night of messing up. So you can give yourself grace when you mess up during this process, okay? But you do need to be consistent, and don't feel too bad when you mess up, because you probably will. I mean, I did several times, like actually not even several, many times, right? And even after getting down to 175, it's not like I stayed there forever. I mean, fortunately though, I never got over 200 again. So recently, a few months ago, I had gone from 175 to 185. So I guess over a year period, over the last year, I had gone from 175 to 185 and then 195. Today I weigh 185. I do over the next like 4 months when I get down to 175, but I'm not killing myself in terms of like starving myself to do it. I'm just trying to, eat a reasonable amount, exercise an enjoyable amount, and slowly get back there. But I'm not going crazy about it. Overall, I'm really happy maintaining that equilibrium of about 180 pounds, right? So I think it's super doable. You can absolutely do it, and it's so simple. Just keep in mind calories in, calories out. Find foods that you love, that you can eat a lot of, and find something that works for you. Maybe a 2,000 calorie deficit every day is not feasible for you. It was for me. I was just so disciplined and so motivated to do it. And I would go to bed feeling pretty hungry some nights, because even though 2,000 calories is a lot of food, going from 4,000 to 2,000 is tough, right? So you do have to have that willpower. And like I said, I had nights where I would still, break and just eat a whole pizza, right? So, but you can absolutely do it even in the midst of the failures and the hardships, 100%. Find what works for you. Find the exercise that you like. For me, it's recently been running. I really had loved weightlifting for years. So find something that you enjoy, whether it's cycling or running or badminton or swimming. You have to love it, otherwise you will not do it. And even if it is walking's awesome. Like, just do it. I think anything over an hour walk is just already like solid. You're gonna burn close to 200 calories, and that's gonna be enough to just get your whole body moving. Your heart's gonna be healthy. And don't cut out all the foods that you love that are trash foods all the time, because you will go probably a little crazy. Like for me, I love frozen M&Ms, and that's like an indulgence where I just love eating M&Ms. And I still do it because a bag of M&Ms, share size M&Ms, frozen, is like 560 calories, okay? That's like a lot of calories, but if I eat 1,600 calories of normal food that's healthy, then have that, I'm not gonna die. Like it's okay, right? So don't destroy yourself and like restrict everything. I mean, unless you have the willpower to really do that, that's easier said than done. That's some of my advice, and I hope this is helpful to someone. Thanks for watching. Hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have questions. All right, bye. Good luck.